All right, welcome back to the program. It's still Abia Project, a special edition of the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. We are talking about a whole lot, ranging from governance, education, security, and the rest of them, and the way forward to develop the state, Abia State. Don't forget, it's still a special edition of Abia Project on platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. Now, joining me virtually is Dr. Monday Ubani. Former second vice chairman, Nigerian Bar Association. Thank you so much, Barrister, for joining us on the program this morning.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Okay, now let me have your own general assessment of governance in Abia State in key areas, especially in infrastructure.
Well, if you want me to assess Abia, I will tell you that I would propose Abia's development with other states, like Ebonyi State. Ebonyi State was created out of Abia. If you go to Abia, if you go to Ebonyi today, you will know there's seriousness in governance in terms of development of basic infrastructure. The roads are wide and very tight. The street lights are shining. There's a government house. There is even a university. As I speak to you now, we are in the process of completing the airport. I'm talking about a state that was created out of Abia. And then one governor within 8 years had made so much difference in terms of governance. From 1999 to date in Abia, UMUAHIA remains like a rural area. Aba, that is the commercial nerve center of Abia. The basic infrastructures are new. People are passing through hell in order to do their daily trading and business. And so the basic infrastructures, the road network and all that is completely new. I just came back from Abia. I just came home to bury my dad.
Okay.
The road leading to my village, even though you say it's a federal road, as equal no Kotobene.
Okay.
If you see how many hours people spend on that road, then the road to my village itself, I will have to do some other things before people could access my village. So also all over the state, and know that there is a basic derelict of infrastructures are basically non-existent. So in terms of real assessment, I don't think that Abia has actually moved forward in terms of basic infrastructures. Development of it. We have not made much progress compared to other states that you can say, well, we are created at the same time or even came later than Abia. And the way an oil producing that makes a lot of difference. We are oil producing is not. Kaduna State is not an oil producing state. If you go to those states, if you get close to the government house, you are straight to the government house is such, is such a wonder. They look at the government house in UMUAHIA. We don't have a government house. It's a rented apartment, I understand. And the road leading to it, there is nothing, just ordinary. The same thing with all the roads in UMUAHIA too, and all that is state capital. The same thing in Abia. Is you after you go to, tell me anywhere you go, and you see a state of the art road that you say, oh, this is wonderful. There is real presence of governance that shows that Abia has come a long way. So we are not too fortunate in terms of the kind of leadership that should have transformed Abia and make Abia to be number one, God's own state. So that's why the Abians must now rekindle their interest in who governs them from 2023, so that we can change the story. We can change the story. The storyline can be changed. It's changeable because we have the personnel, we have the individual that can transform Abia.
Okay, Barrister, so many people, especially those in government, may want to disagree with you when you said there are no infrastructures anywhere in Abia State. They will just refer you to somewhere in Aba. I don't know if you've been to Aba recently, and they will tell you that the government is doing a whole lot in Aba, at least to give it a facelift. Don't you think they are doing well in that aspect?
It's coming to it, but if you don't do one or two roads in Aba and say you have done Abia. After I don't know how long you came to Lagos. There is a place called Oshodi.
Yeah.
Oshodi was one of the worst environments in Lagos. Somebody like Ambode came. It started with Fashola. Fashola did the first transformation of Oshodi. You couldn't recognize where else, Then Ambode now came that if you go to Oshodi now, Oshodi looks like a part in a city in London, just a part of London. I mean, in terms of transformation, when you say transformation, when you go, can you go to Aba today in reality? I say that Aba is transformed. You do one road and you now publicize it and say, no. I'm talking about, taking Aba as a project, because that is the economic nerve center of Abia. Where if you develop Aba, every person wants to come to Aba and do business. And you know the kind of money they will generate. And say, Aba is my project. I'm going to, within these 4 years, I will transform Aba. If anyone enters Aba, they say this is not Aba, they will think it's a part in Dubai. That is what I'm talking about. You can't do one road and begin to advertise it that I've done one road No! I'm talking about transformation of the entire system in Aba. Because that is where the money comes from. There is no city like Aba. In fact, almost all the businessmen I know have one route or the other. When they talk about Aba with nostalgia, when Aba was Aba, under the military regime. So I'm talking about taking Aba as a project and say I'm transforming the whole city. I'm ashamed when somebody tells me that, oh, you have done one road, they will say, just one and then you begin to put, no, gentlemen, we don't pass that level now. We don't pass that level. We should really, think about serious governance, and say Aba is a project. I'm going to do it and change Aba, story, so that whoever is coming to Aba, when today will not even recognize Aba. When they are coming in, you now know there is a city called Aba, where there is real development of the roads, street lights, and all the markets, we transform. That is that kind of transformation I'm talking about. My dear brother, have you traveled up? Have you traveled up and see development? And you're telling me you do one road and they will disagree with me or what? There are people who are living in Aba now who say, oh, Aba has been transformed. The people who are doing business in Aba will begin to clap. No. We should not be on that level, the level of low level. That you don't want 2 or 3 rows and then you now begin to want me to come and pray. No. I thought that Aba should have been a project of any serious governance and government and say, let's transform Aba and look at the Ambode came in. I don't know whether you know the road leading to the airport, international airport before, from Mafloko side and all that. Airport road. The man said, give me 6 months. I will make this road to be one of, if you are coming from this now to the international airport, within 6 months, under Ambode, that's 4 years that Ambode did. If you go to Agege and see how this man transformed the road leading to Agege used to be, you can be on hold up for many hours, in going to Agege. But if you see the kind of flyover this man put there, that within one minute now, you don't even say 1 minute now, getting to Agege. There is a kind of transformation. The same thing at Bega. I live very close to Bega in Lagos here. All of a sudden, someone became the engineer and sat down and said, how do we, change the status quo and the story of Bega, Bega in Lagos. All of a sudden, if you enter Bega now from every angle, come and see, street light. That's the kind of transformation I want to be. That's the kind of transformation I want UMUAHIA to be. I enter into the city, called the capital city of Abia, which is UMUAHIA. I can't recognize it anymore. That's the kind of transformation I'm talking about. Please, let us advance ourselves. Let us advance for our sake. Let us not be dwelling on security and begin to blow now. The man has done his best, quite all right, but I think somebody else should be given opportunity to really, because Abia has so many resources, so much intellectuals, that should be able to transform that particular state. If you enter Abia, you say, I am proud to be an Abian. We are not proud to be an Abian in terms of infrastructure. We are not proud with our leadership. And that is the truth, and they know it. They themselves even know it. They know it. Even when you discuss with them privately, they say, yes, we have not done much. So please spare me this issue of somebody coming on television and radio and begin to tell you, no, now we should advance this argument, my brother. We have seen development. We have traveled abroad. We have seen things, please, sir.
Okay, Barrister, we are still talking about Abia State and the development. So many people may want to disagree with you when you make a kind of comparison with Lagos that has a lot of resources. Their IGR is simply out of this world, to compare it with what Abia is receiving in terms of resources. Fund. Do you think Abia has a lot of money to do all those things like you cited in Lagos State?
Very sound argument. I didn't start with Lagos. I started with Ubani.
Okay.
I started with Ubani that is not an oil producing state. I said, go to Ubani now. Within the same 8 years that somebody was there, go and see Ubani and then come back to Abia. What is the IGR? What is the state? What we call federal government allocation to Ebony, Abia, that is an oil producing state. You not only get your federal, you also get the money that is given to oil producing state in addition. And then you have all the access to borrowings, which you have done. It's getting indebted now to both international and local banks, in terms of, access to fund in order to develop the basic infrastructure. So what is it that others have done that you cannot also do? Then what is wrong with even generating so much money from the IGR? Being that you have a commercial now, why are we still using manual system in collecting revenue for a state? When other states have gone higher, in now automating their payment system so that nobody can take so much out of the system. Do you know how much that is taken out of Abia in terms of internally generated revenue into the private pocket because of the system they are using? And why can't somebody who put on thinking cap and say, no, we cannot continue with this manual system of generating revenue. We must now automate it so that money that is paid goes into the state coffers rather than into private pocket. Why can't we do that? How much do we generate addition? Why can't somebody put on a thinking cap, knowing fully well that Abia is also a commercial city, a commercial state? We have Aba, we have Africa, we have UMUAHIA itself and all that. And so much money can be generated internally in terms of internally generated revenue. And why can't we automate it? What I'm trying to say in effect, I'm not using Lagos as an as the example of what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm looking at other minor. I've been to almost all the states in the federation, being a lawyer, I've been in national office, I've been opportune to go to almost all the states in the federation, including, there is no state, Sokoto, Kano, Kaduna, Kogi, even smaller states like Benue, I've been there. When you are into there, some areas you see, there's a little bit of transformation going on in terms of basic infrastructure. Even generally, there is, bad governance, but there are some governors also that have given serious thought to government, governance, and you see some basic infrastructure that when you go there, you can even recognize where you've been before and all that. That's what I'm saying. They are not as rich as Lagos. They are not as rich as they are also struggling to generate some revenue and then build their own basic infrastructure. Compared to Abia that have been there for 1999, to date, you can't see any, ordinary government house, okay? I mean, I'm talking about government house. We're talking about government house. How come that Abia State does not have a government house and we're staying in a rented apartment for almost from 1999? Can that alone be embarrassing for any government in power, sir? Government house.
Yeah. So, Barrister, what's the way forward as an Abian? You've expressed so many resentment about how things are done, especially infrastructure. So, what's the way forward?
Okay, we have a lot of intellectuals in Abia. If there is anything God has blessed this state with, is a lot of people that can change the direction of things. Let's try, to now look at the incident. That is what I'm only trying to say. I don't want this issue of any governor going, he nominates his successor, and then the story continues, because you can't do more than your predecessor. If you do that, the predecessor will be a bit angry that you want to excel and do public to get accolades and all that. Can we depart from the system and look for somebody that we have there? You look at people that are parading themselves now as gubernatorial candidates. There are so many of them. I have heard of one man called Greg who owns a private university. Yeah. I also know of Alex Soti. I also know of people from the private sector who are coming into this. They want to change it. They are not happy with the state of things too. And I think Abians must also make up their mind what they want. If they want us to continue in diagonia, no problem, no wala. But I think also they should be worried like, okay, look at what Anambra did. Anambra, look, he chose somebody who is a technocrat in place of a Soludo, because the politicians have failed us. Must we continue, tagging along with the politicians who will come and then other interests, supersede nationally, their state interests and all that. And they chose Soludo. And I can assure you that within 4 years, you will see what that man will do. Lagos brought somebody like Ambo. My dear brother, I need to see what that man did within 4 years before the powers that be felt that he was doing so much, and they removed him and brought somebody who has not advanced Lagos, the way Lagos is supposed to be. Why can't we begin to look for people, from the private sector and say let them come and run the state as a profit-making organization, where that is, you make laws, you make profit. They run it profitably. They do it like a company. You can run a state like a company and make profit and make sure that the people are happy and deliver the dividends of democracy. That is what I'm saying. I don't hate any person. The man that is there now, okay, Bazon has done his best, you know. I mean, you can't give what he done now. So he has done his best, and that's why people are also praising him that he has done within his limit and all that. But we can also try some other person. And we can go higher than this in terms of governance. That is my take, because I've seen good governance elsewhere. Okay. I have seen people within 4 years that have transformed their state. It doesn't have to be 8 years. 4 years, they make a difference.
Okay. The former second vice chairman, Nigerian Bar Association, Dr. Monday Ubani, thank you so much for joining us on the platform this morning.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much, my brother.
Okay. Well, you have him there, Dr. Monday Ubani, a legal luminary. He has said a whole lot as to how to develop the state. Of course, he said he's not really comfortable with infrastructural development in the state. A lot needs to be done. Don't forget, it's still the Abia project, a special edition of the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. This is a program we're having just to remember or to mark or to celebrate the Democracy Day, which was yesterday, June 12th. It happened a whole lot, several years ago. And upon the return of democracy in 1999, we are looking at Abia State. Which way? How far? So far. It's still the special edition of the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. I will be welcoming another guest who will be talking about the issue of human capital development. He is the chairman of Abia League of Professionals, Mr. Sonny Iroche. He will be joining us very soon after this break. Stay with us.